right, thank you for staying with Daybreak. This is the show that allows the young people to ventilate and talk about all matters, politics and everything in between there, because they are the ones who form the majority of the population anyway, so their voice matters. Do they know that their voice matters? Well, that's upon them to answer. So we'll talk to them in just a bit on several issues, starting from the dailies. We'll review that and then get into the conversations that is all about politics and which way Kenya. Let me start by introducing my guest real quick. From my farthest left, we have Newton Hamasi, Democratic Party spokesperson. Thank you so much for coming through. Irene Mayaka, Special Elect MCA Nyamira. Asante sana for coming through. Then we have Angel Mbudia, Chairperson, Comesa Youth Advisory Panel. She's the chair, not just a member. Chairperson, Comesa Youth Advisory Panel. Thank you so much for making time. And Jerry Maina, lawyer and co-founder Kia, which is Kirinyaga Youth Alliance. She says there are 3,000 strong members from Kia there. All right, thank you so much for making time. So let's see, let's start off with the Daily Nation. Front page, Azimio, Uhuru, Raila, rally MPs. President Kenyatta yesterday told a meeting of Handshake MPs that the coalition's bill, which is currently before the Senate, will give Kenyans a chance to work together across the political parties in the national interest. He also took a swipe at his deputy's allies. And as Ruto's allies pour cold water on the president's move, they described the meeting as divisive, saying it will neither heal the political rifts in the country nor change their feelings about Deputy President William Ruto's Hustler Nation movement. They didn't get to State House invites at all. Newton, I'll start with you on this one. Was this meeting a unifying factor or was it divisive? Because people seem to be reading from different scripts.
From where I sit, good morning, Kenyans, and thank you for having me here, Trevor. First of all, this I'll see it as a unifying step. Because one, as a country, we need to come and sit down and look at things from the benefit of the country perspective, not just talk about things and then we just go away. After a win or a lose, we walk away. It's a matter of after a win, we come back, we sit, and we engage each other to see how best we can move forward. And to me, this is a good move. The president has recognized that, yes, there was a lot of division in Parliament, and just to try bring the House together, he opted for this. Yes, I understand some didn't attend, others attended, but again, all in all, he made the step to try and unify. And as he has been consistent, he has mentioned that his goal and key agenda in 2022 is to leave a united country, not just a country that is divided. Okay. Yeah.
Irene, what are your thoughts?
I agree with Newton. For me, the beauty of this is that since after 2018, the president has been consistent in his message of reconciling the country, the handshake. And the beauty of all this was just to see MPs from different arenas, different communities, representing different regions of this country, different parties coming together and sitting together. Well, I mean, before 2017, you'd never think. And Honorable Millie Mabona joked yesterday and said she's sitting at the seat that Honorable Duale used to sit at. This would never, ever be thought of as something that is possible. So for me, an effort towards bringing people together, the Azimio message around this, for me, is just fantastic for this country. But
isn't that where the problem is? Because the Deputy President William Ruto's allied MPs say they did not even get an invite. How is it then unifying if some people are deliberately left out?
Well, Trevor, you know, I don't blame the president per se, because these people are part of his government. But over and over, they have been defying him. They have been out there talking badly about him, disrespecting him. I mean, they just show him disrespect. And I mean, what is he supposed to do? You can't just invite people to the table who are showing you disrespect. If I was them, I would actually come so that I surprise them that I am part and parcel of this. But let's not pretend anymore. I think gloves are off right now where we are. It is you are either supporting the president in his endeavor to finish off his term at a good place, or you're not. Okay. Yeah.
Angel, what do you think?
Trevor, I think for me what I see is that the president is coming out of political hibernation. Yeah. And all this time he's been busy doing, serving the nation, working with Kenyans towards his agenda. But now he's seemingly coming out as a politician. And this is the moment we have all been waiting for. And so whatever decision he takes or whatever move he makes will put him or will cast him against something. So if he's about uniting the country, not everybody will be allied to his agenda, his ideas, and that is what Kenya is about. This is a democratic country, and we are all allowed to be aligned towards what we really believe in. So as the president is coming out of this political hibernation, I think this is something even we from Mount Kenya have been really been keen to listen to and trying to understand what is really behind all the scheming that we've been seeing here and there. So for me, it looks like a political hibernation. I think there is more to come. Those who missed, it's pretty obvious why. But again, I can't wait. I think this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Jerry.
I think perhaps I'll disagree with my colleagues. The political parties amendment bill is purely a fashioning of political interest. There's nothing about national unity, and it has been proposed, or rather it is being pushed so that certain political factors can be considered during the election in August, later this year. And there's no reason for us to pretend that it is about unity, and coalitions have been there before, and Kenya is a democracy, so it is okay for people to differ with the president and for people to support a different political narrative, because that is what democracy is about.
Yeah. But this meeting that happened at State House, for you, does it signify a united country or a divided country?
Trevor, like I've said, the meeting is all about championing political interest. There's nothing about unity. Because you can see that certain people didn't attend, certain people attended. So there's nothing about unity.
Okay. Should the president endorse any leader? You know, he has not come out to say that so-and-so is my preferred candidate. Should he come out and tell Kenyans that I think you should go with so-and-so because he has the best interest of the country? Or should he let Kenyans decide without his influence?
I think even without the president coming out clearly to say it, it is sin. And sometimes, Trevor, you don't have to say something openly. Your actions can portray a certain direction. Should he say that openly? Perhaps that is, I would prefer that he takes caution in that, and that he just sits back and let the Kenyan people decide on who their next president will be.
Yeah. Angel, what do you think? Because the thing is, there are quite a number of people who are still undecided. And there are those who are saying that the president should not meddle in these affairs, considering that this is his last term and he's going home. He should just let Kenyans decide. Should he let Kenyans decide on their own, or should he tell them that this is the person I think is best placed to lead the nation?
Trevor, I think as a leader, your legacy is also entirely pegged on the succession of your tenure. And so that should be keen on his agenda, because if he's been all about building the infrastructure and the hard core of this country, someone else needs to come and building a software so that this country can work. We are tired of just having politics throughout. If he can endorse someone that he believes in, I think at the end of the day, Kenyans will still have to go to the ballot and choose who their preferred candidate. So it really doesn't question, his ability as president to endorse someone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Irene?
Trevor, if you take away the tag of the president from him, Uhuru the person, at the end of the day, he's still a Kenyan voter, he still has an opinion, he's still entitled to his own decision. So I don't see anything wrong with him saying that this is the person that I think would make the best president for Kenya. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. If it helps to make the undecided voters make a decision, well and good, because at the end of the day, he is still an influencer, just like any other influencer in any other space. So whatever decision he makes, whatever he decides, I have no problem with him saying what he thinks.
So whether he endorses a candidate or doesn't matter? It doesn't matter. Okay. It's still fine. It's his opinion as a Kenyan. Yeah. He will wake up that early morning like the rest of us to go and vote. And he's entitled to say who he supports. Yeah. The same way, if off the cuff, if I ask you, Trevor, who will you support for president? Who will you vote for? You will say. Yeah. So he should be allowed to make that decision. Okay. Newton, I'm bringing this up because Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka said that the president has not come out to tell us who he thinks we should vote for anyway. He hasn't endorsed anyone yet. So is it something he should consider doing, or should he just leave it open the way it is right now?
You know, first of all, I'd like to say that Kalonzo Musyoka should focus on his presidential bid and not wait for Uhuru Kenyatta's direction, because he's a leader in this country and he needs to make up the bold decision and the bold leadership skills that he purports to have to lead this country. Again, on the other issue of Uhuru Kenyatta endorsing whichever candidate he wishes to, that is his personal choice. I am not going to advise him on that, on whom to, because, you know, in this country we have liberty to choose whoever we want to support, and for that purpose I leave it to him to do it. But again, what I've been consistent on, and I'll continue being consistent on, is the president should stay put and stay away from whoever will win the presidency come this year, August. He should remain fair. He should remain a uniting factor. If today the presidential candidate for Democratic Party walks to State House and says, hey, Mr. President, I need your vote, he needs to listen to that particular candidate and not say, I am hosting this person because my interest is with this person. That shows a president who is not uniting the country, and as where we are as a country, Trevor, we need a president who will unite us even to the last day of election.
So he should stay clear.
He should stay clear, although in Kenyan politics we have had a scenario where it's not fair, but we pray that in 2022 we are going to have fair politics, and the president will not have a hand in who becomes the next president. If his best person or whoever he voted for doesn't win. And I want just to link that with what our lawyer leader Atuoli said, that at no point has he said, if this person doesn't win, he's not going to be handed power. Yeah. And you see, that realization is what we are calling upon all leaders, including the president himself, to stay away from the decisions that Kenyans voters are going to make come August 2022. Yeah. Yes.
I bring this up because Musalia Mudavadi on the front page of the Daily Nation gave an interview, and he says, I'm leaving the door open for possible coalitions. Yes. But there's also been a conversation around it's a two-horse race. Mm-hmm. And this is a rather subjective conversation. I'd like to hear your views. Is it a two-horse race at this particular point? And everybody else is considered just a spoiler or someone looking to get a position at the end of it all?
You know, that is an assumption that, and this is a narrative that is actually spread by our social media, our mainstream media. It is not a two-horse race. It is an open race, and as we see today, there's one person I feel like can win is the person whom people cannot predict. All the guys being purported to be the two-horse race, we can predict them. We can easily predict the candidature of Raila Amolo Odinga, the candidature of William Samoei Ruto, the confusion in Oka by Musalia and the likes. But one candidate who has stand out, Trevor, and I'm kind of selfish on this, is Justin Beden Muturi. You know, he's unpredictable. And that is the mystery we want. This issue of telling us, gee, two-horse race and all that, I don't think it is. It is just a fallacy, Trevor.
But what about the youth and the numbers? You know, this is, it's based on history. These narratives come based on history. Yes. And we've seen this before. Quite a number of presidential candidates. Others get 38,000, others get 5.8 million. The numbers, and mostly it's the young people who vote. Are they ready to change their mindset and try something new, or are they still going to stick to their old patterns of voting?
Trevor, let me tell you something. You know, in Kenya, we have had this narrative of social media hype, and that is what is happening. And I like to advise young people, let us not be people who are very active on social media. Let us have young people who are involved in politics. Involvement meaning that you participate in political parties. We stop these sideshows of protest and all that, because at the end of the day, what counts is not just your vote. You know, in Kenya, we have put young people in a place whereby the only time they are necessary or they are important is when they are casting their vote. We need to move away from this skewed moment of just taking young people to be voting machines. And as a leader and as a young person in this country, I just want to advise our young people, Trevor, let them come and participate. You see, for myself, I see the leadership of my party leader, Justin Bernard Muturi. He has come in strongly to support young people, like myself. He has held my hand and is supporting me all through. And you see, this one is involvement in politics. It's not just a matter of his calling me to talk to me and nurture me to vote for him. What we are seeing in like UDA, ODM, and all those other political parties, they are going for the voting machine. They are not involving these young people in the politics of this country.
I see you shaking your head vehemently because you're one of them.
Yeah, because I'm a good example from ODM. I am where I am, who I am, because of the support I've received from my party leader, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. And I just want to say, in regards to the upcoming election, I like Newton's positivity, that it is an open race, but this is like asking, is Nairobi in Kenya? Yeah. It is so obvious it is a two-horse race.
No.
All the opinion polls that we are currently receiving, it is 32%, 33%, and then there's 2%, there's 1%. I mean, these things is so obvious.
Yeah.
It's to people. And again, if you even look at the voting demographics, like for example, the Oka Party has four participants? Already 2-3 of them have declared their presidential candidates. So who is who? Yeah, it's not obvious. Azimio is very specific. This is our presidential candidate. UDA is very specific. This is our presidential candidate. So you're either on this side or you're on this side, and you either fit into the ideologies of Azimio or you're fitting into the ideologies of UDA. And there is enough space for young people in these two dispensations. Yeah. It just has to be you getting out there and positioning yourself and adding value. Because I keep hearing people saying that the youths are special interests. You're not special interests, we are the main interest, because you're the majority in this country. And so for us to even have a platform in these two main dispensations, you've got to show that you can add value as a young person. You can't just lie on your seat, you're on social media and you're complaining, oh, the youth have no space. Nobody's going to give you that space for free. You've got to fight for it.
So you don't think the young people are going to pull a surprise and just decide that this time we're trying someone completely new?
The young people know. They know for a fact, the ones that support whoever they support, that you don't have to be the ultimate leader. You don't have to be the president. You can be leaders in all these other spaces. There are more than enough spaces. I'm not saying it is our time. It would be very interesting to see a young person actually vying for presidency, attempting, but at the same time, we've got to also be realistic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Angel, you're the chair for COMESA Youth Advisory Panel. Do you think the young people are mature enough to rise above petty politics and decide that this time we're trying someone new, or what are we going to base our decisions on, as you also respond to the fact whether you think this is a two-horse race or is it an open race, like Newton calls it?
Well, okay. I think it's a two-horse race in my case, and I mean, there's still time again. Cabinet secretaries have still not resigned. I mean, civil servants have still not left office. There's still time to realize, I mean, to come to a conclusion exactly what is on the table. Again, on young people this time round, I don't think they are looking at other things. This time they are looking at themselves. This time they are looking at how can I be part of this decision-making process. They are okay, who will be the party leader? That's an aspect now that maybe we've not grown up to realize, that we can maybe have a political candidate running for president. But again, now I attended about 5 harambes of young people running for MCAs across the country. And that is brilliant, that is amazing. I don't think that's something we really had in the two previous elections that we've had. So this time round, the young people are not looking at others; they are looking at themselves. They are looking at who is that young person who is running that I can also support. Their 6 P's will be youth, 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 and that is very encouraging for me from where I sit as a youth advocate, as a youth champion across the continent. Most movements have been led by young people, so young people are now taking back their power. They are realizing that yes, that generation has come and it has gone, but it is now time for us to take the baton and lead the way.
Jerry, two-horse race or open race? And are the youth going to vote based on ideology or personality?
Trevor, in politics we have to be factual, and it's purely about numbers. it is a two-horse race. I am sorry to disappoint my brother. Oka, as we have seen, they have not decided on who their presidential candidate is. They seem to be jumping around and meandering.
They're in a retreat right now to decide that.
But perhaps if they decide to all come under as a coalition and decide to support one person, they might just dent it a bit. They can't make much change to, you know, the presidential race being a two-horse race. Sorry to say. But at the end of the day, I think that young people are actively coming up and taking positions in respective parties. And we have seen these. They're no longer just waiting around. Recently, we launched the Young Lawyers Brigade under UDA, and we also launched Kenyatta Youth Alliance. So young people are actually actively coming to the forefront. Because at the end of the day, Trevor, we are the heart and soul of this nation. You know, we are the center of the challenges that young people are experiencing. We are the people who are actually now building democracies and shaping the narrative as far as politics is concerned. And they're no longer just waiting around in the shadows, and we have to put ourselves out there. And because of that, I decided to vie for the position of women's representative in Kirinyaga County, because I believe it is the time now for us to lead. We want to bring the future that the youth hold to this nation.
How are you going to deal with the cost of it all? Because there was an estimate that to run for that position, you will need upwards of about 20 million.
It is a challenge, but I have said before that just because there are challenges does not mean that you should not try. What we are doing right now, personally for me, I am just talking to friends and corporates and well-wishers to be able to fund my campaign. And Trevor, just because there are financial challenges does not mean that young people should not run.
Yeah.
And we want to change the narrative and shape the narrative of this country. And it cannot be changed if we just sit back and say, oh, I don't have money to run a campaign, so I will not offer my candidacy. Yeah. I am a young person, I am qualified, I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, I believe I am intelligent, and I am capable of leading Kirinyaga.
Aren't you then disappointed when you hear that IBC is targeting 6 million youth to register as voters, but only 1.5 of them register as voters? So 4.5 million are just chilling and tweeting.
That is very disappointing, and that is why we're trying with these organizations like the Kirinyaga Youth Alliance to call out young people to come and register as voters, because at the end of the day, we need to make that decision, and that decision is going to be made by your vote. If you sit back and just write on Twitter, oh, I'm supporting Jeremiah for women's representative Kirinyaga County,
and you don't have
or
a
you
vote.
tweet or on Facebook and you don't have a vote, you actually won't come and vote for me during the election, that is not helping the cause for young people. So it's disappointing, but we're trying to push and motivate young people. And at the end of the day, Trevor, I think it's because of the challenges that the youth encounter in this country. And you find that you don't have time to think about voting. It's not a priority for you. You're thinking about, how am I going to get out of this situation I'm in? How am I going to become better? How am I going to further my maybe economic situation? So we need to motivate young people. We need to make sure that we have talked to them and we have encouraged them to come out and vote, because that is what matters in this general election.
Okay. I'd like to hear all your views on this issue of young people not taking up their voters' cards and still being very vocal online, but not actually taking the leadership mantle directly. And keep your views coming at Trevor Mbiji at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Daybreak. We're taking a quick break. When you come back, I'll sample some of your views before we continue this conversation on youth and politics. See you shortly.